crazy Scotsman, and Luke, he runs like a Welshman.
Give me attention, everyone.
He gets attention.
Attention for everybody.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and start off with some more Ukraine stuff.
What's the context of the video? Do we have some?
It is listed at the top of the screen. Ukraine soldiers hold their position against Wagner Group near Bakhmut.
Is that a Volkswagen?
All the excitement's going on.
All those people like to drive a Volkswagens. Dude, I have no room for his
I wonder why. They sure like all the Volkswagens.
They're using plastic garbage cars to traverse the battlefield.
They barely fit in the damn car. Like, that thing does not even have four-wheel drive. How are they driving through this muddy-ass field?
I don't know. They need to get a Silverado or something.
Hell yeah, America.
Fucking technical, come on.
Can't move.
Or a Toyota.
Damn, he is lobbing those tubes.
Something just went backwards behind him that looked like a vehicle.
It was a dude.
Looked like a vehicle. Dude's going the wrong way either way.
Ting, 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 ting.
Goodbye eardrums.
GKM. Rocket fighter.
Yes.
He doesn't have an assistant gunner, so that means he's probably standing on his corpse. So he can see over the trench.
It's kind of interesting how it devolved into trench warfare almost at this point.
Well, the Russians aren't really trying to take a whole lot of ground. Like I said, they've been trying to hold what they got. They don't want to try to quell and rebuild the country. They just want to fucking hold Donbass and Crimea so they can be like, yeah, this is Russia now. Now Ukraine can still exist, but no more nukes.
Well, supposedly they're gearing up for a bigger offensive.
I've heard that,
or they've already started the offensive.
But I haven't seen anything about an offensive. So maybe it hasn't. They might be waiting for spring. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's February there, just like it's February.
Yeah, except it's way worse February there. Like, there's not a lot of snow, but it still is like mud and cold as shit. It's actually probably a nice winter over there because we're having a pretty nice winter here.
Being on that coastline might help the weather. I don't know what the fucking if it's turning into just mush though.
Not really much of a coastline.
Oh, just south of there, they have one of the largest seas on the planet.
The Black Sea?
I wouldn't use that word for it, but that's you.
The N-word sea.
Oh, wow.
And demonetized.
Yes, and already trying to get taken off YouTube before we even get more than like 5 subscribers.
Just as a correction, it's not an N, it's a weird backwards K.
Could be, yeah.
Just to correct everybody on the name of that sea, it's got a weird backwards K.
To be fair, I have Slavic blood, and Slavs were the first slaves. Let me just throw that out there. So, I'm like 10% oppressed.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 10% oppressed right here. Luke, how oppressed are you?
I don't know. I'm converting to Judaism, so I think I
You're
win.
about to just climb the ladder.
I think I just
Somebody
win.
get this guy a trophy.
Somebody get this guy a yarmulke.
I think the Jews were the first slaves, right?
According to the Bible, like the Old Testament.
The Slavs word, hence slave.
According to history, yeah.
It's literally implied in the word.
So the slaves were enslaved.
That's where they got their name.
Yeah,
Where
these
Slavic
are the
comes
Slavs.
Yeah, but the Slavic region isn't where the Jews would have all been. So just going for the trophy here.
The Jews are just everywhere.
And
All right, I want to watch this. Sorry, son of a bitch with that.
I like that end of that South Park episode where the Jews run
I think-
Hollywood, and fucking at the end of it, they're like, "Let the Jew run it, let the Jew run it."
I think
that's horrible.
I think these are the same guys that were in that sad ass bunker.
Yeah, this is making me wonder if this is like a propaganda crew.
Yeah, I
like
was wondering
Germany,
that too.
Russia,
Well, especially when they're freaking. I don't know. They don't get any returning fire, which is
yeah, they're always just firing machine guns into nothing. I would love to have that rifle. I take the machine gun too. What caliber is the MG3?
I don't know. We never used their weapons that much.
Well, the MG3 is a modern day MG42.
Well, they're Germany's in NATO, so I'd assume it's in 7.62 by 5.1.
Yeah, it looks like 308. It used to be 8mm Mauser, which is a ridiculously large bullet. Like 7.94.
See, it's like I feel like if you were in actual combat, you wouldn't be dicking around doing this.
No, Rob, we played Battlefield.
This is like-
Look how much trouble you have working your bipod. Look how much trouble this guy's having working his bipod.
This is like stupid shit you do, like firing into trash.
I would point this out that he's standing on a desk. It looks like a school desk. Or
I know,
that's
it's
not what
like-
that is. Tell me what the fuck that is.
It's like you
Yeah,
can't be serious.
Yeah, wouldn't you be standing in a better position or set up yourself up for a better position? I
'Cause
don't
if-
know.
if-
This doesn't.
I mean,
Doesn't seem
what
like
are they shooting, like 1,000 meters away, maybe? I guess
seems
actually,
like
if you
propaganda.
well, I mean,
Well, the whole
look at
idea
his
is-
look at his flip up sights. That's the
Yeah, dude, he's
They're-
got
they're
their
up-
elevation set way
About
high.
they're
500.
all the way up.
Yeah, no, they're way past 500 meters, dude.
It's,
That
it's
is
as
that's
high.
500?
I'm pretty sure it's as high as it
Dude.
goes.
that is max. So that's 900 to 1,000 meters.
Yeah. So they're shooting
don't
at
think that's
1,000
max.
meters.
Yeah, and on AK Plattern rifles it is. So I'm gonna assume it's a German rifle, but it's AK sights. So I'm gonna assume it's 900 to 1,000 meters. And here's my point. I don't think he's actually shooting that far at a target. I think they are just shooting into trash in nowhere to be like, look at what's fighting. I think it's like old school Russian propaganda or American from like old school World War II propaganda. Like, go get them, boys.
Or just training footage.
Could be that too.
Yeah, if
That's
it's just
definitely 308
Yeah.
also.
But
If it's
according to the
just-
video, it is definitely interesting to see a belt-fed machine gun work under real conditions.
Real. They've been used for a long period. We were using belt-fed machine guns in World War II, World War One.
I think he's just training. And that's what they're showing us, like, and expecting people to be like, this is the war. And it's like, no, they're fucking training.
Go get them, boys.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's
But it
rocket,
says,
let's go fight.
according to the video, they're engaging Russian positions.
I hear gunfire in the background, which is
Yeah.
useful to break.
Well, they're
this
probably
down.
training other people at the same time.
You see the recruitment video with all the 16-year-olds in it? That's kind of hard to watch. Is he gonna do a barrel swap? No.
My guess is that they were probably shooting at Russian positions, but they were probably just really fucking far away.
Could be. It sounds like there's fighting going on in the city, though.
This is in Kherson. I can't.
Kherson just fell today.
Did it?
Yeah, it just fell today to the Russians because the leftist, conservative media, not conservative, freaking
Corporate media?
no, Western media is what we'll call it, I guess. was like, who gives a crap? They took some small cut city, like it's like a small suburb outside of a city. Who cares? But the Ukrainians were fighting like tooth and nail to defend it and suffered like severe losses trying to.
They've been moving real slow. I'm pretty sure this is Bakhmut right here.
Well, since we've been sending missiles to Ukraine, that really shut down the Russian air power. And once that happened, it prolonged the war. I liked it when Kamala Harris was like, "Oh yeah, war crimes," and I'm like, "We were bombing schools and weddings."
Wait until
Hold on to that picture, Rob. Wow, I'm not gonna try to read that.
the Ukrainian wait till the Ukrainian president launches those missiles into one of his own cities.
Oh, he's already. I bet you anything he's already been doing that.
They've
Like,
already,
there's a lot of instances.
they've already
where
shot missiles at Poland. What's to stop?
Yeah, right. Like, oops, sorry, that was north. Thought that was west or east.
Like, I'm here to liberate you.
Allegedly, that one was a ground-to-air missile. They were shooting at aircraft, and it went off course
the one that
and landed in Poland.
Yeah. Yeah.
It hit
I
a building. You know, we're sorry.
Whoopsie doodles. Sorry about that one, mate. I need to get. All this is doing is make me want to get to the range.
Yeah, I should have went shooting this weekend.
They do have that.
Like,
They do have that. I don't know if it's a propaganda photo on Twitter where there's a alleged Ukrainian girl taped to a post.
That was a dude.
That was a dude.
I think so. I'm pretty sure that was a dude. They put black paint on his face. That happens a lot.
It wasn't black paint, but
okay.
a different color.
I saw one today that they did that, or 2 days ago. But they do that to people who are Russian like ancestry. They tie it, like the Nazis will tie them to posts and humiliate them in public. It's just, I don't know. It's a European thing. It's just dumb.
I like tarring and feathering that comes with third and second degree burns.
That's an English and American. That's like a Brit American kind of deal.
We need to do that to tax collectors again.
We're gonna paint your face, but we're gonna use it with something that's on fire.
We don't have to light it on fire. We make them look like birds.
Oh no, the boiling tar is just
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not
Let's see if I
seeing
can
anything
find
about
this.
Kirsten.
I don't think I shared it. I could maybe try to find it on my side, but
Well, between those two, they generally have a pretty good.
I have 3 monitors, but I'm gonna use my phone to do this because it's gonna be easier. I don't have my Twitter up. Weird. Give me the spelling for Kirsten, Rob.
Kherson. In this map, it looks like it is. I don't see any.
Whoa, that brought up a lot of really interesting stuff. 13 hours ago, Kherson was the first Ukrainian city to fall to Russian forces. 13 hours ago. The first thing that popped up on... this is 2/6. This is old. Okay, so that was 13 hours ago Kherson fell. I'm going to send you a TikTok from Twitter here to the group chat. Let you dig into that one. I didn't hear the audio. That might be interesting to watch. It's kind of funny looking. There's a Twitter handle called
Дуже тепло. Шарфик мене гріє. Такий маленький шарфик. Боже.
Ukraine with cat. It's a Ukrainian soldier.
Шарфон такий. Снігу лише.
I think if he wants a scarf, he's supposed to kill it first.
Well, that one can scavenge and catch mice and rats for you to eat, and also keep you warm. You just have to make sure you keep sharing the mice and rats.
There's a
Fair
handle
enough.
on here called From Kierson. Uh, reports of Ukrainian soldiers wearing skull head patches. Ukrainian lawmakers ban communist and Nazi propaganda from their soldiers in Ukraine. Bad publicity. Teens in Ukraine trained for frontline warfare 2 days ago. Here's a bunch of Ukrainians Sieg Heiling each other, calling it the Ukrainian Wehrmacht.
It's just like one or two of them.
It sounds a little propagandistic to me.
They're all fucking Sieg Heiling. I mean, it's what's happening.
I mean, there's there's numerous
Bellamy
videos.
salute, Roman salute.
And then one guy puts his fingers to his mouth and does the eating vagina thing. So they're really cool. I'm waiting for one of them to put on a hat.
Well, I mean, half of them are like 16 at this point, so
they're all wearing shirts that say "tap out." It's just a fucking army full of bros. It's like, oh.
We're gonna go to Libs of TikTok.
Give the people what they want.
It's too much. We have to
Not
do this.
that. No,
we
I
have
can't
to.
anymore.
That's exactly why we have to.
Supremacy is every. Hi there. You must be new to my
I haven't
account.
watched the whole thing. 'Cause I
I
couldn't deal
say
with it.
white to
I've watched it all
remind
like 5
people
times
that
to try to figure out what the fuck she's talking
supremacy
about.
is everywhere. Because in order for true equality to happen, white supremacy has to be dismantled. And a lot of people are not even aware of their use of whiteness unless someone like me points it out
That's
by
a really
calling it
strong
white.
German accent.
In your case,
Yeah,
you as a
someone with
white woman
slanted eyes.
telling an Asian
Du
woman
lieben.
how to speak on her account
Must be
is
really
a pretty
Eastern German.
privileged mindset. Because I would have never thought to go to your account and say, hey, your face is really annoying. You should change your profile photo. I would never say that to you. Like, that would have never
She's actually
crossed my
pretty,
mind.
but
Like,
her
who am I
attitude
to
is
tell you
disgusting.
that? And you should have awareness of your actions.
But I'm not seeing the rest of her body. She could be drastically overweight.
Statistically, Asians are more privileged than white people. If we want to go that route, I say
Here's a good
privileged
one
with
for ya.
quotations, but yeah.
I can't believe it's already train derailment season. I still have my spy balloon decorations up.
That's not bad.
I like that one.
Where'd you see that one?
Sparks N123. I'll give him some love here at Sparks N123 on
Ugh.
Twitter.
Wisconsin.
I love Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, did you see that headline there?
It's my home away from home. It's like my second state. I was born there.
Wisconsin Middle School celebrates teaching students about gender identity, sexuality, and pronouns with the Progress Pride flags and trans flag on display. Because that's what we need to teach children about.
I guess it's a play.
Dude, the schools in my area, they're like resisting this shit. Because like my state made it legal to do all that crap in schools. Like LGBT must be taught. But my school is resisting. And all the schools in the area are trying to resist it too, but I mean,
How about you teach them math and English? Like, what the?
yeah. Like I was watching a school in Chicago where they were like, "All right, kids, everybody sit down." There was like one white kid in the class, and all these big women were up on top of their desks like twerking, and this kid's like trying to take a test, and they're all like standing on their desk twerking, and he's like, "Can you please leave me alone?" I'm just like, "Oh look, stereotypes."
Oh, look, a guy
Yeah.
trying to take a test.
Yeah, with big old women twerking, blasting music that berates women. None of it makes sense anymore. It is a clown world. I know you don't like clown world, but it is
Take a
clown
deep breath.
world. No.
Oh boy. White
Refuse to do
cis
whatever
women,
Shrek tells
we
me.
need to talk. Take a deep
What?
breath
Why is this ogre talking?
and let's talk. Some of you just now reacted to me saying cis. That defensiveness comes from white supremacy culture.
It's not a real word.
It's okay to be all up in your feelings like that. But it's not okay to use your feelings as an excuse
Is
to
this a
harm
man or a woman? I
others.
can't tell.
We need to pause
I don't
allow
think ogres
ourselves
have
to
genders. I
feel
think
our
they're all
feelings and
asexual.
process
I
through
think whatever it
why
is, it's
those were
dressing
the
as a
feelings
person
that
from
we
the
had.
80s who's in a
Then
sci-fi
you can
movie.
address the
Well,
underlying
judging
thought
off
that
Shrek the
caused that
movie,
feeling.
with like there was
Only
genders,
when we have
but
thoroughly
it's really hard to tell the
processed our
difference, I
feelings
guess, unless they're
and the
animated.
underlying thoughts will
This
we
one's
be
not
in a
animated.
position
Well,
to
yeah, you gotta put a
respond
fucking bow tie on a
appropriately
frog,
with
then you know it's a
kindness
boy.
and
That
thoughtfulness.
way I can tell the difference.
Ooh,
You can't
boy.
look at a mouse
White
and be
cis
like,
women.
oh, that's a boy.
More things.
I can't even imitate the voice of Mickey Mouse, but yeah, you wouldn't know what
Okay.
that is.
Do you guys know who Jeffrey Luke? I know you know this one. Do you know who Jeffree Star is?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So Jeffree Star just came out today and said trans pronouns are bullshit, invented out of boredom, basically trying to get people to like get mad, just to see if they can get a rise out of people. That's what he's saying. Like Jeffree Star is a boy who isn't like a, I don't even know what you call him. He still has penis, but he's dresses like a chick and is gay.
A drag queen?
Not the actual surgery or anything. And by him
To
saying
Well,
bleep
that
that,
makes it a drag queen.
it's pretty bad when you're making Jeffree Star sound conservative.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a oxymoron because I know there's been a lot of transgender people that have been conservative, and you know they're at least somewhat sane. But
I don't know. Back in the
It's-
days of the emo,
When I was
It's
a kid,
kinda
people
stupid.
used to like stick ink under their skin and then it'd stain it forever. Sometimes it'd look cool at first, but then they got old and it started to look like shit.
Luke Shaw.
I believe that's called a tattoo, sir.
Like the girls that make out in the Russian band.
The Russian band.
My wife
Yeah.
was getting gas today, and I went into the gas station before we started this whole podcast, and this dude walked up because he's getting gas on the other side, and she started talking to him, thinking it was me, and she immediately was like, "Whoops, never mind." And I walked up, she's like, "I totally thought that guy was you." I'm like, "Yeah, like because of all my fucking neck tattoos, like we look so similar." She's like, "I'm like, now I'm gonna go get fucking neck tattoos. That'll show you."
Should we go down the rant of why women shouldn't vote?
I didn't even have to say that. Like I believed it, but I was like, I'm not gonna go there. I'll just make people mad. And then like women started telling me that women shouldn't vote, and I was like, all right.
Then maybe
Well, this
they
is
should.
this is a hot topic. Ooh, 10.7 million views.
Dude, gross.
This wretched woman. Well, this is the video that Babylon B
I
is
did-
making fun of.
At this rate we're going with this show or this podcast, whatever this is. At this rate we're going, we might as well rename it "Try Not to Cringe."
I don't know.
I
I,
mean,
feel like the
we've-
crap that we've been watching, I do need Appeal to Heaven because it's very difficult to watch.
Oh, it's so disturbing.
Jesus help me.
Help us all.
Can I see this? Damn, you ran up to it for a long time.
This is a day in the life of a
Have you seen this
childless
yet, Luke?
woman. I wake up at 6 a.m. I remember
just
that
heard
I
about
have
it.
no kids to take to school, so I take an edible, masturbate, and go back to sleep. I wake
gonna
up
watch
at
the, cover of
12:30
this
p.m.
from
and get
Babylon
ready
Bee
for a
after this.
busy day of doing whatever the I feel like. I put on my most impractical and stylish shoes since I won't be chasing a child around the grocery store. I go to my fave spot in Paris to grab a croissant. I do a
Oh, first
meditation
world
sesh on the
problems.
plane since I have no screaming kids,
Sounds like white
allowing
privilege,
me
but
all
okay.
the time in the world to become enlightened. The weightlessness of my existence has granted me superhuman powers. I teleport myself back home. Then I get ready for a night out
That's
with
not
whatever
teleportation,
hot guy
that's saying-
I met on Raya
Just
that
being
morning.
rich.
I call up a babysitter and tell her that I don't need her since I still don't have kids.
Why are you
Now it's
fucking
time
calling
for a
her? Like,
workout,
leave the
so
woman
I hit
alone.
Mount
Like, she's
Everest
like, yeah,
for a
bitch, I
quick
know, you're
climb.
50.
I
I think this
invented time
lady's
machine,
famous, and that's a
go
pretty
back
dick
in
move to
time
the
and
lowest
kill
of the working
Hitler.
class, which is
Crazy
a
Yeah,
babysitter.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
amazing what you can do when you
Oh,
have this
she's
much free
pro-gun?
time. And that's a day in the life of a child.
Oh wow. We should just clip that. Pro
Oh
gun.
man,
Based.
First of all,
Based.
terrible form. Terrible form. Like she is.
Well,
just,
yeah,
like,
she's
sucking this
never
up.
shot a gun in her life.
Maybe it's just an incomplete scene because she looks like she's shooting her way out of a rapist basement.
Maybe it's her basement. She's trying to keep somebody in.
Yeah.
Fuck, think about that one, dude. We're having rain
That's more-
around that.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
more fitting. I'm sorry, I'll drink to that.
That was the
We
poor
all did.
Uber
We
Eats
did,
driver.
That's perfect fucking dead air. Everybody take a shot.
This much free time. And that's a day in the life of a childless woman.
Now I play the Babylon B one.
Well, that's cool. She raised all her kids, and now she gets to do what the fuck they want, or she wants.
No, she's just gonna die alone. I just
She's just gonna die.
the parts in that really bother me is she's like, I got hungry for a fucking bagel, so I just flew to France. It's like, oh yeah, because that's what everybody.
Yeah,
who
it's
has
just
kids
like,
fucking
yeah.
does. Oh, I didn't have kids, so I'm just gonna fly to fucking no. And the second one that bothered me was the
Wow,
whole,
if you abort your children, you can go to France too whenever you want.
like hold on
And
before
I
we play
chose
this.
not to have kids because, hey guys,
The second one that bothered me was the oh, now I'm drawing a blank because we skipped around.
This one's a parody.
Calling the
Correct.
babysitter. Like, why are you calling a babysitter? Like, hey, I don't have kids. Yeah, I know. Like, why are you talking to me? Like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna call the school and be like, not enrolling my
I
kids in
think
school this
that
year.
that is
So
her
you're like,
attempt
okay.
at humor. I may be wrong.
I called that out at her being abusive towards like the lowest of the working class.
Oh, dude, that was absolutely. She was shitting on the middle class and lower class. Like,
Just
I like
like-
to think I'm
No,
middle
no
class.
average person can just afford to do that.
Dude, I come from a 2 working household, married couple with 4 kids, and
I'm hung up on the fact that she's annoying a babysitter just to tell her she doesn't need one, given the fact that she has no children.
what's the point I was making? It's like me calling the school and be like, my kids are coming to school, and they're like, who are you? You don't have kids, and you'd be like, oh, I just wanted to call and tell you.
Yeah.
I just felt like wasting your time.
I just
Like,
wanted to
even if
know who
I-
I'd have to call if I didn't murder my children.
Even if me and my wife didn't have kids, we still wouldn't fly to France to get a fucking bagel. It's stupid. I mean, maybe it's because I'm
That's
fiscally
just
responsible,
that's
or
just
'cause I'm not worth
flaunting
$1 billion.
wealth.
Yeah, that's
Well,
just
like,
running
it's a-
their like, oh, I could have like donated money to a shelter or like my local church, but instead I flew to France to eat a bagel. What it cost me? Oh, it was the best $1,000 bagel of my life. Probably more because she probably stayed for 3 days and did other pompous shit. But sorry, now I'm just mad.
All right, bud. That's like a dated shirt at this point. We get it.
No, he's still alive. So let's go. Brandon.
Barely.
I guess my final point on that whole situation of what we just watched is I'm a very capitalist person, so I guess if she has the money to do that shit, good for her. But when you're appealing to a base of people who are screaming "Eat the rich," it doesn't hit home, I guess, to her base. But all right,
That was an unnecessary retractment.
Luke, what are you drinking?
Beer.
I can see that.
guys,
That's
I'm
true.
C. Handler, and I chose not to have kids because they're gross.
I didn't notice C.
Ugh.
Handler.
And instead focus on my career because everybody knows that money
Chelsea
is way
Handler
more
was
important
the
than
other chick,
humans
that's
with
right.
souls and precious, precious faces. This is a day in the life of a childless woman. I get up at 6 a.m., remember that I have no kids, then go back to sleep because I was out clubbing until 4 a.m. trying to fill the void in my soul with alcohol and meaningless sex. Then I get up at 10.
Somebody so well.
First thing I do is take my anti-anxiety medication, then my antidepressants, then my other prescription meds, and then a shot of Jack to take the edge off. 11 a.m. is daily brunch. Alone. Cheers.
Are we watching like the day in life of a woman without kids or Luke's morning?
Refill my anti-anxiety meds and pick up
There
a
wouldn't be
morning
any
after
food
pill.
in my morning.
And now I'm at my job. Hashtag girl boss. Having a career is so liberating and like way better than having some overbearing husband.
Handler! I need those reports on my desk in 5 minutes! And next time, remember the cover sheet! Cover sheet!
Yes, sir. Maybe if you keep saying it, you'll believe it too. You can do this. Hey, I'm in here. Now I'm home, and I can say hi to the most important people in my life. Hi, babies.
Get my cat all worked up.
Dinner time. Microwaving a family-sized meal. For one.
Eating disorders.
And now it's 10 p.m. and I'm getting ready to head back out to the club and start the process all over again. It's a never-ending cycle of partying, drinks, men, abortions, pills, partying. It's so awesome and way more fulfilling than having a precious child of my own.
My favorite part about all this is the point when like these, I know that's satire, but it's honesty, and the point when all these women who are like, I'm gonna do this, and then they hit like the age of 40 or sometimes 30, but 40 mostly, and they look back at their life and they're like, what did I do? And then they just like eat and eat.
Yeah, I'm going to guess about 99% of them regret it.
Oh, I'd put it to a solid 100 unless they had serious psychological problems.
It's going to be so much worse with the millennial generation, though.
Yeah.
And then,
oh yeah.
you know, Gen Z too. But...
Well, like boomers could handle it pretty well because it's like.
Well,
you know,
it wasn't as prevalent with the boomers.
Yeah. But it was a less,
I mean, Gen Xers.
Number.
I mean, you're starting to see the Gen Xers now because it got a little bit worse for them, but it's even worse with the millennials, especially with like OnlyFans and everything.
Millennials and Gen Zers are going to eat this so hard because the single parent household right now is just awful. I mean, it's up to the point where it's almost there's a higher chance of being born into a single parent household than being born with a mom and a dad in the home.
The child's lucky to be born at all.
Good point.
Well, it's a 1 in a trillion chance that you're alive, so I think we're all pretty fucking lucky.
And in the end, we're all just on a giant rock flying through space.
Like your super great grandmother didn't get like beat into the dirt by a horse or something, and you were never born.
I don't know if I ever told you, either of you, this. This is a good indication of how easy life can be stripped from you. So my grandpa is a biological twin. Him and his brother, you couldn't tell them apart. My grandpa's twin brother, at the age of, I'm going to lie because I don't know his exact age, but he was young, 12 years old, got shot in the chest with a .38 special out shooting guns and died.
Sounds like an accident.
It was an accident. And it's like one of those situations where it's like, oh, but my grandpa was out shooting with him and nothing happened to him. Well, so it's like one of those ones where all it took was the mistake to flip-flop within a matter of 5 to 10 seconds. And
well, my grandma was in England during World War II, so she was actually having to take cover from like bombs. So,
you can add another trillion to your own trillion. Like you're still alive. You were born for like 1 out of a trillion, and you're still alive 1 out of a trillion. So, good job, everybody.
And what are we doing? We're getting drunk.
Everybody who's
talking
alive.
About stupid videos on the internet.
Go to church, find Jesus, work out, be good. Build your life.
Find Jesus.
And in the words of Jordan Peterson, clean your room.
Clean your gosh darn room.
You don't want rats and mice and cockroaches, so.
Well, rats bring the plague.
Yeah.
You know how you keep mice and rats out of your house? You buy cats, yes. That's what England and France found out back in the day.
Well, you need to clean the trash out of your house, too.
Well, that always helps.
That's generally good sanitation practices.
The clean your room part of it.
Yeah. Make your
clean your room is just have everything nice and organized.
Yeah, it's just
The cats died from eating too many rats.
It's not like we're having a cat shortage.
We could be.
Oh god, we're in the middle of a cat shortage.
There was a train full of cats that just derailed in Chicago.
There's plenty of 40-year-old depressed white liberal women. I assure you there'll be no shortage of cats.
As the days go by, I just keep falling more and more in love with Carrie Lake. Not like political though, like she's like a grandma, and I'm just like attracted to her.
Sexually,
you mean
like a grandma.
The actual governor of Arizona.
I will never simp for a girl, but like when I was like that, I don't know why I like her.
Well, she's just a very good public speaker, given just because she was in television for so long, so that became natural. But I mean, she's just so genuine too, which makes it that much better. And then you. Well, now I'm gonna get pissed. And you replace it with the freaking cunt that is unrightfully in the seat.
She's also building a media empire.
Katie Hobbs. Jesus. No.
They're getting everybody wound up and ready.
No, man. Well, there was just a bill. It was a bipartisan spending bill. Like the Democrats in the state Senate and House had passed it, and then she still vetoed it because she wanted to spend more money on stupid things. Try not to swear. And then she's now to counter the Republicans busing migrants to like sanctuary cities. Now she's just busing migrants wherever they want to go. She's just encouraging people to come in and be like, yeah, given the Biden administration is just flying them wherever the hell they want to go. So, whatever, I guess.
Oh, here's one that's going to make everybody mad. I don't know if you guys... Oh, man. I live on, like, caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, and then the world news, like, keeps me chugging through my days. So, the FBI is due to release the Epstein list, right? The client list of who went to the island. Well, the FBI came out today and said, oh, we were hacked, and we don't know what they're deleting or what they're doing, but we're trying to take care of the situation. And the people in the comment section of the FBI are like, we swear to God, if you don't have that list, like, we are gonna fucking burn your building down. I was like, oh, damn, people are getting mad now. Because everybody, like, I didn't even think
well,
about it. Like,
it gets to be a certain point where, like, if, it's like Jeffrey Epstein, like, oh, the cameras just magically were down at the same time he died. It's like, yeah, okay. Like, and then it's like, oh, yeah.
The only person on the list who visited him was Hillary Hinton.
Yeah.
Maybe people need to work on backyard trebuchets because a lot of those buildings are within cities.
Well, I just thought it was funny because I was like, I didn't even think of that when I saw that. I didn't even think slightly that I was like, oh, the FBI's somebody's deleting the list. I was like, oh, that's crazy. FBI got hacked. That happens a lot. But then when everybody was like, oh, they're deleting the list. I was like, oh shit, that's a possibility. But then they're gonna, if that does happen, they're gonna be like, oh, we don't have a hard copy, and then everyone's gonna be like, you better, like, oh, we threw it away. We didn't think we needed it.
Or we lost it.
Yeah. Welcome back, Rob.
Howdy.
So how was it interviewing that famous footballer, Rob?
He scored so many touchdowns.
Tell us about the points.
Scored all the touchdowns. He got like 8 home runs.
Oh. Dude, wow. He's so close to the records. If he hits a grand slam, he's going to be in the Bowling Hall of Fame.
I'm too mad about the frickin' guy. You got me wild out with...
Your state's election was stolen. Life
yeah,
sucks.
I know. It was blatantly stolen.
Our federal
and it's like what... And it's all the conservatives really just bitch about it.
I live in a state, Rob, of 120 counties, and it's ran by one city. Out of 120 counties, 118 of them are red. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. We got one city, two cities telling us what to do.
They literally screwed up the ballot sizing, and then fraudulent. Of course, they always ballot harvest. That's a given. But beyond that, they frickin' completely screwed up the voting machines because of the print. I witnessed it myself. Like the day I went in it was before 7 o'clock in the morning that I went in to vote, and there was like a line of people that had issues.
Take your own pen. Take your own pen.
Well, I did. I see it. Well, yeah. You just bring your own bloody pen. But it wasn't. But I mean, it wasn't even the freaking pens. I don't know why mine worked.
Dude, let me tell you a little story here.
But there's people waiting, and they just put it through. Unless they just were like, yeah, it worked. I checked my status, and it said I voted on the website, but...
Oh, that's good. I mean, at least you got
it's... Did I really, though? Like, the Rhino Republicans that were in charge of it had an anti-frickin' Kerry Lake pact going. And then the person running against Kerry Lake was running the election. Like, give me a break. Like, you can't make this crap up. Like,
I have the documents.
You don't need the documents. It's blatant and obvious.
No, I'm
but then you look at any retard on freaking Twitter, they're like, "Oh, quit being a poor loser." It's like, Jesus. It's like you shoot somebody in the leg, and then you run in front of them, and you cross the finish line, and they're like, "What the hell? You just shot me." They're like, "Quit being such a poor sport." It's like, screw you, man. It's like obvious.
Well, my state's 98% coconut farms, and now the one city in my state who's telling us about climate change, they're like, well, you can't raise coconuts anymore because coconuts are bad for the environment with their farts. And then everybody here is like, that's ridiculous. This is what is like the income of our state. They're like, no, we have industry. And they're like, your industry is based off our coconuts.
I didn't know Illinois grew coconuts. It's a very interesting thing.
It's a metaphor.
I know it's a metaphor.
There you go. I like coconuts.
Well, hopefully those people tell me someone I can buy this stuff off of to get back into the industry or get back into farming.
The coconut industry?
Totally. No, just give up the coconuts and start growing soy.
Oh.
Ugh.
But they'll be able to sell you all the soy equipment you need.
I got into an argument with a boomer the other day. He was like, oh, we need to grow more corn. Like, you got to grow corn because I have a little bit of land. He's like, you should be growing corn and selling it. Corn has no value. He's like, everybody's growing corn. I'm like, yeah, because the government gives you subsidies to inflate the price.
Corn soaked in rain.
Yeah, it's like, how about you grow something else? Well, what are you going to do with it? I'm like, you sell it. Who are you going to sell it to? Fucking grocery stores.
People.
Grocery stores sell
people that buy stuff, you know?
Farmers markets are making a huge comeback right now.
Well, yeah, because everyone wants real food. There's no real food in the grocery store, so it's like, oh, wow, I go to a farmer, I can buy real food, or you just grow it yourself.
The grocery store is 10 miles away from me. It's a small-scale mom-pop grocery store. All their food comes from the area when it's in season. Otherwise, out of season, they buy from Florida or, you know. But it's like, this boomer did not understand the concept. He's like, no, you grow corn and soybeans. It's like, okay.
Well, and then they're on freaking government subsidies. The only reason why they make money is because they're on freaking government subsidies. So
then when the price tanks, they're like, oh no, I have no other options. And it's like, oh, that's crazy because I diversify.
Well, it's the same thing as anything else.
I have
like if
cabbage.
If you're like investing, you diversify your portfolio.
No,
if
you buy
you're
all
growing
one stock.
If you're growing food, diversify your crops. Like, it's not that hard of a concept because it's
people don't understand.
People like diversity of like freaking food, like in that.
Well, I'm gonna give a shout out to Joe Salatin because this dude really woke me up on the situation. He laughs at these people. He's like, I go have coffee every morning, and all these farmers sitting at the coffee house or the tavern, wherever you're having your coffee, and he's like, they're all sitting there bitching. He's like, I can't believe I got to pay $13,000 to the nitrogen or like the fertilizer farm or whatever to get the fertilizer to put an artificial fertilizer on my field. And he's like, they sit there all day drinking coffee, complaining about fertilizers, this artificial fertilizer company, and they're all wearing the hat representing that company.
They're all on bloody welfare.
Yeah, it's farmer welfare. It's like, the farmer now has money, and it's like, yeah, if you own 500 or more acres and you're large scale farming, try breaking it down and doing something different. The meat industry is awesome. People love chickens. People love cows. Cows and chickens complement each other so well.
But if you're farming vegetables, like, you know,
well, you do vegetable
grow more than freaking corn or soy.
You grow vegetables.
And I'm pretty sure the soy is just literally an export. I'm pretty sure we just export that shit to China.
Yeah, and China buys it from us.
Because China, one of our main exports to China is the soybeans and freaking pigs.
Yeah, you know what they do with 50% of the soybeans we sell them? They dump them in the Pacific. You can find that online. China dumps soybeans in the Pacific Ocean that we sell them because China grows their own soybeans too. They only buy our soybeans because it's part of a trade deal from, like, what is it called? The Pacific Trade Agreement or whatever. So they're obligated to buy stuff from us that they don't need. Same as we buy stuff from them that we don't need because we can make it here. It's just like we buy rice from China, but one of the largest rice farms is in Louisiana. Like, the rice farming is huge in the swamps of Louisiana. So we don't need their rice, but we buy it and we sell it.
I mean,
China can only consume so many soybeans.
Why wouldn't they just give us money instead of freaking doing that whole process?
It's part of the trade agreements. You have to. We deserve this much stuff unless there's like a famine, and then we have to buy X amount from you, and then our deals we have to buy X amount of this from you.
We shouldn't
It's all like a 10-year deal, and then we renegotiate and we go through it again. Mexico's involved in it. Canada's involved in it. The Philippines are involved. Australia's involved.
Are you talking about NAFTA?
Yeah, basically. And every 10 years they renegotiate.
Still doesn't sound like capitalism to me.
It's not. It's contract buying. So like you fill out a contract, and for the next decade you are locked into it to buy X amount of that product. That's why soybeans are so subsidized in China, and corn. Most of our corn goes to Europe. Almost all of our soybeans go to China. That's why the government subsidizes it, because they have it already sold before it's even grown. So they can give you a kickback for you to grow it. It gives them motivation. They have to hit their quota.
I hate the government.
Yeah, the modern day farming setup is a disaster. My aunt is a large scale hog farmer, and she also has like 800 acres of corn and soybeans. And she straight says, the hogs are the only thing that makes me money. The corn and soybeans don't really bring anything but break even. And I'm like, then stop renting land and put in more hogs. If you're making money on your pigs, do more pigs. Why are you wasting your time in the field if you're breaking even? Oh, because we have the land.
Why?
Like, okay,
we don't need more soybeans. We need meat. Damn it.
They're feeding
if her crops, feed the pigs, then that might be.
But they have excess, which they sell, which is where it breaks even. So
yeah,
if you're breaking even on that, I mean, they're not stupid people. I'm sure they have it broken down with their artificial fertilizers and their seed bills and all that stuff. They run Monsanto seed, so I'm sure they have it broken down to a scale where they have just enough pigs to where they're not getting a bill for fertilizer or anything. Like their excess is taking care of their fertilizer bills and seed bills. So if they put more hogs in, then they're actually going to see a decline, because they're going to have to put more. They're going to see a decline in everything.
Well, build a chicken coop here. Give me feed, and I'll take 6 of your chickens.
Do you want to buy chickens?
No.
I'm putting chickens in this year if you want some meat.
I'm looking for welfare chickens and welfare labor.
I'm not putting chickens in. I'm getting chickens.
So just out of curiosity, as opposed to growing a bunch of corn or soy,
mm-hmm.
What would be a good alternative? Do you think?
Okay, so you grow your food.
Gold.
Yeah, grow gold.
Gold.
You grow.
Why didn't I think of that, Luke? You're
this
genius.
Is my Dollar Tree, dude.
You'll get your yarmulke yet.
If you're looking for making money in farming, money is in animals. You grow the produce is for you, and the animals are for export. You don't have to butcher them yourself. If you want to, you have to go through a disaster of government frickin' red tape, which is designed to make it so you can't do it anyways. Like, if I want to butcher a cow and sell it commercially at my house, I have to basically have $200,000.
You're saying make more animals, not I'm talking about crops.
Yeah, crops you're not going to make a lot of money on.
Well, but obviously there needs to be some sort of vegetable.
I don't have a black eye.
Because people want vegetables.
Yeah, it's just I see it, Luke, as a shadow. I got it.
I don't have a black eye, but if I need one, I got one.
Your boyfriend's not beating you, Luke, is he?
Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. If I do this, I'm like, swap my house. He's punching me.
He fell down the steps, I swear. I walked into a door.
I was just throwing doorknobs at him, and he suddenly got bruises.
Why is there a fork where the spoons go? So anyways, back to the topic of farming really quick. I know we're getting way off.
No, but besides livestock.
There was no topic.
No, this is good information, though.
No, I'm just saying there was no topic.
So apart from livestock, what was your question, Rob?
Anyways.
What would you grow besides
What would I grow?
Yeah. Well, no, what is practical to grow? In Illinois.
In Illinois.
Besides, saying, okay, they have all that frickin' field. It's not just going to be sheer, cows and pigs.
Yeah.
What else would you replace it with? Ideally.
Okay, here's my it's a tough question. So I'm gonna ask you one question to counteract that, so I give you a better answer. Is this for like what
Are you
the
a
soil
bloody
likes?
politician?
I want to
answer the question.
I want to verify it for you. So is this like what's really good to grow here because of the region and the soil type, or is this like?
Well, yeah. I mean, what?
Side?
Yeah, because I mean, you have a garden. You know, like what grows well during the growing season. What could you mass produce that would be practical? That is better than growing than like freaking just corn and soy, like a massive field of
you
corn
honestly
and soy.
want the truth about I'm not even a big Illinois fan. I don't really. I love my state, but I hate the state government.
Nobody likes Illinois. So
yeah, so I'm gonna give you an honest thing here, and it's gonna sound stupid, and I'll break it down and give you a better answer after I say this condescending one. So in Illinois, you can grow fucking anything. The soil here is so good, you can grow almost anything you want. It will die because our winters suck, but anything you want will grow here. I've grown artichokes, which are actually is a perennial, which turns into artichokes can turn into a 12-foot.
I'm more saying what could you mass produce though? I mean, I guess technically you could mass produce anything. Well, what would be like more practical?
Cabbage is huge.
Well, I
see
mean
that a lot in northern Wisconsin. They pump cabbage out
as a
like
Wisconsinite, I feel like that'd be a good one. Start pumping out that sauerkraut.
When I was in northern Wisconsin, north of Green Bay,
that and Fish Fridays, gotta have some freaking coleslaw.
They were sneaking up on St. Patrick's Day. I like to be some cabbage and corned beef. So cabbage is a good one. I know Luke loves his sugar snaps. Sugar snaps are awesome.
And that's just for fun, though. That's that's for fun. That's
a good snack.
But I mean, I guess really.
Mass production.
I mean, you just diversify things. I mean,
you can go green beans here like mad. Like I can harvest green beans 5 times in a season if I get them in early enough and at the right time with no late frost. 5 times harvest. That's nuts. I'm gonna put it in quart for canning purposes. But one year I did green beans, and I didn't even do it that well, and I didn't even do it that big. I did small amount. It just happened to be a good season, and I think I got 80 quart off of like 5 rows of green beans at 30-foot rows. That was more. I mean, I'm still eating those green beans, and that was 3 years ago. I'm still eating those green beans. Like I can't eat them fast enough to get to like 19 green beans.
Might want to keep that part out of the green bean commercial. Like, oh yeah, they're 3 years old.
It doesn't matter. They're canned. They're still good.
Yeah,
oh, that's true. But
and my kids love them because they love the garden. But another thing, tomatoes grow awesome. You can mass produce tomatoes here like mad.
My tomatoes are finally starting to ripen.
As a Midwesterner,
I thought I screwed that up. My tomato plants are like almost a year old at this point, and they're just now. Yeah, I'm kind of interested. Like now. I was going to pull them out and plant something else because I thought I let them get too big. But now I have a few tomatoes starting to ripen, so I'm like, oh, finally. But
as a Midwesterner, as all of us Midwesterners, sweet corn can bring a good profit too. You put that on the side of the road. If you can get your sweet corn in early enough, it brings in really good money.
Yeah,
if you can get it in and be one of the first to harvest,
it's like best childhood
can
memories.
Bring you $6 to $7
just
a
pull
dozen.
over, find a random dude with selling sweet corn on the side of the road, and it's always the best.
If you're pulling in, I mean, in Illinois we have a rule.
Like
when you
real
buy a dozen
sweet
ears
corn,
of
not
sweet
the
corn,
mass-produced freaking GMO crap that's in the majority of the cornfields you see.
Yeah, but if you buy corn here in Illinois, we have a rule. It's called when you buy a dozen, you get a baker's dozen, so you get 13. And you can make $7 a dozen if you're one of the first to harvest. That's the bonus. That's big money in sweet corn. I mean, my corn stalks produce two ears of corn per plant, and I had 120 plant in. So
Luke,
I had 200.
Luke, what would you plant? Like what's your thoughts on that?
To not commit die, or just for the fuck of it?
Well, just for
mass production,
like practical means, like thinking on like a national scale. Like what would be practical for like
around here? I would say like rotational for some sort of like grains or barley, like some sort of
hops
type
grow
of
really well.
Something like that for feed, and people can eat it, animals can eat it, fucking animals can bed in the fucking stalks. You can rotate it, probably get 2 different plants in a year, so you got some crop rotation. Clover, bed of clover.
Clover's always good for a cover crop.
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
Pumps nitrogen back into the soil. Keeps your dirt down, so you're not losing it with wind erosion.
If you really gave a fuck, you could steal fucking puffball shit.
Yeah, I get those go under my apple tree.
You could,
I get those every year.
You could re-implement that or use that as an.
Pit.
You could use that as a whatever the fuck they call it.
Well, see, here's the way I get around the clover object, because like you could plant clover to put nitrogen in the soil and keep your soil strong and keep wind erosion away. When I'm done at the end of the year, my corn, I hack down all my corn stalks and I lay them on my garden. My corn stalks that I do cover my entire garden. It keeps wind erosion away, and the breakdown replenishes the nitrogen in my soil. And
if you replace with a
time.
fungus, or if you put a fungus in there, it's a lot better for everything. Moves,
mycelium is always better.
It moves everything pretty good, but it moves or holds phosphorus in to the soil. The phosphorus is really important. It's or phosphate. It's one of the like basic things.
Well, and then when I'm done with my corn stalks, those will all be broken down this spring, and I'll that's when my compost pit comes in, and I bring out my compost, and that is instant freaking nutrients. I till as little as possible or due to erosion. And my garden, I can't complain. My garden is great. I mean, you saw it last year. You helped me haul mulch. I mean, my garden just was nuts last year. I couldn't eat all the food that was coming out of it.
I had a really good year with my small spot that I do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in a tough spot.
I grew cucumbers.
Cucumbers are cool, dude. I love making pickles.
I had unlimited cucumbers for 3 months. It was great. But...
Well, me and my brother and your brother Luke made so much freaking sauerkraut last year on all my cabbage. I grew 26 head of cabbage, and we ended up total with the 3 of us at 100 heads of cabbage.
Oh, Jesus, I have 8 grown.
We made I ended up with 24 quart of sauerkraut. And that stuff is so good for your stomach.
That's the only reason why I want to grow cabbage.
Dude,
I might take 1 head and make frickin'
corned beef
coleslaw.
Coleslaw is good too.
I won't have it by St. Patty's Day, so
it's good on tacos.
Yes, it is. That's what I was about to say. It's a better substitute than lettuce. It's higher in protein.
Actually, yeah, it is. It does have
lettuce.
It's a lot more crunchy too. It's a lot better texture.
Dude, you can take cabbage straight.
Lettuce when it gets hot tends to just be all mushy and shit.
You can throw it in a pan of butter, and cabbage is awesome right out of a frying pan.
Yeah, I mean cabbage is
with butter.
Yep. There's a reason the Germans brought it and were like, "Look, check this crap out. It's amazing." Oh wow, this soil grows it better than our soil. One thing I like to grow that I did a couple of years back that was fantastic was I planted a Russian red kale, and it grew to the size of a bush. It was 3 feet tall, and it was the best. It was actually, the kale was good. I mean, it was really. Normally, I'm not a huge kale fan. It's a tough vegetable to get
Yeah, I'm really not.
Eat.
I mean, I've had if you dress it up right in like a salad, you gotta
try Russian red. It'll change your world. I love
Russian red.
Yeah,
mostly dressed in AKs, but
yeah, just the new Shankas. But yeah, I mean it's nuts that kale really changed my whole thing, because I like the old joke on kale where it's like, oh, if you put oil in the pan, it's easier to scrape into the trash.
Well, I think it's more bitter, so there's other things that are more.
Do you know what kale was initially? In at least the culinary world, it was just initially used as a garnish.
That's what I was gonna say. I figured it was.
They didn't even eat it. It was just used as to make something to pretty up the plate.
Well, same thing with parsley. Parsley is still a garnish to this day, but the nutritional facts of parsley is super high. But people don't like it.
It's there's too much boringness on a plate, so you just gotta sprinkle a little green around.
Yeah,
not so pretty. Not saying do it, but you could go out and dig up burdock and eat the roots of that.
Dude, I have
got nutritional value.
70 plants of horseradish in my backyard, growing right next to my asparagus, and I need to make horseradish again because there's so much damn horseradish in my yard. I took a bunch over to my brother's house and planted it in his yard.
That's one thing I need to grow.
Massive horseradish.
Yeah, that's why you don't do that with horseradish. But
it's
I mean,
funny.
if you put it in,
it will grow.
I
If
need
you
to
lop
get
the
me some
top off,
horseradish.
it will root.
it's not. It's
Rob,
they
when you come
use
back,
it.
I'll send you home with horseradish.
They use it to freaking
Seed or actual horseradish?
Hmm?
I want to grow it, is what I'm saying. But I mean,
You won't
dude,
have a
I have
problem
like
growing
70
it.
plants of horseradish in my backyard, and it will grow in sand. It's a weed here. Like, it is in my backyard. Luke, me and your dad harvested a bunch, and then me and my brother harvested a bunch. Then I put some in my brother's yard, and now he has a bunch. You take a place of horseradish this big of root, by like that round, put it in the ground, and you have horseradish. It will infest the area. Anywhere it can spread, it will spread. It's like strawberries. Strawberries here are nuts.
It actually needs to be controlled.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a weed. Dude, when you come out here next time,
I can
we'll go
think
in
of
my
worse
garden.
weeds to have.
Oh, all my weeds in my garden that I let live have a purpose, and I do
But-
not use chemicals.
But keep in mind, like with horseradish, it's not one of those types of plants where you're like, I'm starving, I'm gonna eat all this horseradish.
Yeah,
It's gonna like
it
give
needs
you
vinegar.
gastrointestinal hell if you just eat it raw. It's
Yeah.
really good, but if you were just to like massively consume it, it would fuck you up. Like it could kill you, but I don't think so.
My fucking rhubarb will kill you if there's a frost.
It's a really strong like flavor, and it really irritates your whole system going through. So that's why you like, if you want to use it raw, you just kind of shave it and maybe give it a little heat. But
Horseradish is so easy to make. It's not fun to make, but it's easy to make. You take horseradish, you take vinegar, you take a little bit of garlic salt or garlic pepper or powder, and you put it in a blender. And as soon as you take that lid off that blender, you're gonna be like, I hate my life. Your eyes will water, your nose will clear out, your house will stink.
it's not a miracle survival food though. Like
No,
it
it's
sounds
a
like when
it's a
you're
good
like
topping.
just plant it and it takes off everywhere. Like it's like, oh, I can just eat this
Well,
forever.
I love horseradish. Like
It's good. It's,
like,
it's a good amount of.
well,
it has a lot
it's
of
for
starch in it.
complementing other food. It's not for just eating.
That's-
Actually,
yeah.
I've had some like
I didn't want to come off as it was like a miracle thing. Like
well,
you just plant
it's
it and
freaking
forever you're
horseradish,
good.
dude. I mean,
I've never. Let me tell you about my horseradish. I've tilled it up, and it comes back. Horseradish will root down about 5 to 6 feet. Some people have said 7 feet deep. If you don't harvest the entire root, it will come back every year. It will just keep growing back. I mean, if you harvest it down deep enough to where it's only like a foot of it left and you're 3 feet above topsoil, it'll take a couple of years. But I was digging it up. I dug probably 2 feet down to harvest it, and it's all back already. Like, that was 4 or 5 years ago, but it's back. I have so much horseradish.
Or you plant it deep enough, it contacts the mole people and they start using it.
And China's like, why is it horseradish growing here?
Why is the horseradish growing in my wasabi?
Yeah, it's a fucking
Ooh,
same
wasabi.
thing. It's basically the
interesting.
same thing. I
don't know what wasabi.
You can grow
plant
wasabi
looks
here
like.
too. You can grow
Can
anything
you?
in Illinois, dude. Yeah, I've grown what's that other crap that's similar to wasabi and horseradish? It's Russian.
Well, turnips are relatively
Yep.
easy, so it's
Turnips
not
I've grown. I've grown
Yeah.
turnips here too. Turnips were an experiment. I ended up I was like, these won't do shit. Left them alone. Didn't even take care of them. I got turnips like this big, which is small, but size of a softball. I didn't even take care of them. I just planted them and let them do their thing. We get hot peppers do awesome here because our summers, like especially July, is so brutal.
kohlrabi, which is not
Kohlrabi's good.
very, yeah, not very special, but
I mean, the only thing you can't grow here is like a banana tree. Like if it grows on a tree, you won't survive the winter.
well, if
so
it needs a tropical fruiting cycle, yeah. But
Yeah.
there's a person who had a banana tree in Illinois, but it was inside of their house.
No,
That's
okay, I was gonna say.
But like my pear tree, that did
It was
awesome.
one. It was like
Until it
one
died.
tree though.
We used to get, I mean, my plum tree just died. We used to get tons of plums. My pear tree just died due to wasps took it over and hollowed out the stump. We used to make pear pie, and my apple tree's still going strong, but he's not far away from the end of the road either. he's maybe got 5 years left in his life, and he's done.
Better get out your AK and shoot him.
The apples or the tree?
The tree. It's gotta put him
You
on
did
the
what you
path.
could you did what you did for the party, comrade. Now you get early retirement.
I'm telling you, you do it now, Tyler. That apple tree's gonna attack your children.
Yeah. Well, we're thinking about if we get this extra land we're looking at. We're
You
thinking
put it
about
in the
putting.
cage.
We're gonna put in a frickin'
The pit
pears
bull
and
tree.
apples. All right, we're getting way off topic. I enjoy the farming talk though. I wish I could do some I wish it was warm enough out right now and it was daytime. I would do a walkthrough, but it's obviously not any of those things.
Fine, do a walkthrough now. Okay, here's snow.
Well,
Some more snow.
there's a little bit of snow.